Bars and Threads featuring appearance of hip hop head Jhob 360, hip hop historian, real lyricist, on point to fashion and sneakers to no end. Episode 12. Let's make this clear. Episode 12. Let's make this clear. First thing up is a good question that a lot of my audience likes to ask, and it is, why won't I review every speck of a hip hop album that comes out? In all honesty, I believe in an honor system. I mentioned what's good and what's worth checking out to a certain extent. This is the reason I extended an olive branch to the comment section on both pages to suggest an album that was supposed to be or wanted to be reviewed. And I would definitely review it. I can't retract the feeling of the statements or take back the rating. And I also learned a lot. Instead of rating things that come out immediately, I need to take a little bit more time and really listen more to come up with my very detailed viewpoint that people want me to do. If you're following right now, please subscribe, like, and comment. And I'm going to keep it gangster with this one. Nas and Premier released an album called Light Years. I felt like Nas is one of the highest level of MCing ever at this point in his life. He's at the highest level of MCing. I also felt Premier was pretty good for a solid album, but when I think of Premier, I'm thinking Nas would get the very best out of Premier. Vice versa. This would definitely stay as a 5 mic classic for me because Nas' pen game went around the lackluster production, in my view. And not to put down Premier in any way, but I just felt like the production was a little lackluster on this particular album. I don't want to go into songs. I want you to listen to it and you tell me in the comment section of what you felt about it. But what a team effort. Lyrical storylines and verbal onslaught was incredible. I want to give a shout out to Mass Appeal. Once again, I keep on saying Mass Appeal, Mass Appeal, Mass Appeal, Mass Appeal. They've just been killing 7 albums this year since they brought out. And that's all on the Instagram page. So if you haven't checked that out, link is in the description. Check out the Instagram page. It is really booming. It's really entertaining. The next album I reviewed was Conway, You Can't Kill God with Bullets. I rated this 4 to 4.5. Conway always sets the lyrical standard. Production was fair. He always has standout tracks. Conway, I think, is not headed on a down spiral. Like I heard some people saying that maybe Conway is on his down spiral and he's not doing proficient bars that he was doing before. I just think that he's exploring what's next as an MC, and whatever that is, let him fall into that lane. I think it's going to be something great though. So don't sleep on Conway. And if I'm not naming the highlights or songs, I'm giving you the opportunity to judge for yourself. So that means on albums, if I'm not giving you the highlights or songs, or you want me to name every song to prove that I listened to all of these albums, I'm just giving you an opportunity to be like me and listen through it all and give me an opportunistic opinion about how you would feel about it. So that means that I'm really looking for somebody to comment. And comment albums you want to be reviewed, and what did I feel about certain things in those albums to be reviewed. I listen through all these albums all the time, or I should say, put my foot in the water so others don't have to jump in themselves. But the whole thing about it is when you do something like that, you don't want to bring out a negative opinion about artists that really are trying to find themselves in the game, and that sometimes that subpar or okay song is not enough for me to go after the entire album. And I have listened to almost every single album that's came out of hip hop this year. And without me being disrespectful to other artists, and not saying that you're not good enough, but why bring out your worst when I can bring out your best? And that's my take on it. So I'm gonna segue into something else real quick right here before we get too deep into that. This week's hottest sneakers, I put it on the Instagram page already. I do have a question for some people. Do you wear or just collect sneakers? I'm curious. Do you wear or do you collect sneakers? I'm kind of curious about this one because I've been wanting to bring this up for a while. The reason why I'm bringing this up is because, how many people bought the shoe but don't have no idea what to match them with? How many people bought that shoe and have no idea what to match them with? I have a solution. Stop buying foam to sit around your house. And just you're not gonna wear them. You're not gonna do anything with them. Like, that's a good thing. I noticed that no one but dudes compliment these releases. So not to. This is a very big pause moment here. I think it's kind of weird when a man looks for validation from other men. That's just my opinion. That's a pause moment right there. And the reason being that's a pause moment, I just think that we need validation. I'm not going to go buy Gamma 11s when I can buy Bottegas and feel better about my purchase and know that one thing is better than the other quality-wise. I think we're chasing the same things, and they're being re-released year after year after year after year. So there's no grails anymore. Grails are out the window because grails get old too. So you got to renew grails, refurbish grails, make grails better or whatever. But I think a lot of us are running after these sneakers, and I'm not talking about sneakerheads or people who just like to have them in their house and look at them like they're like the greatest thing on earth inside of a box or inside of a glass case. I'm not hating on your hustle or whatever. If that's what you are, a sneaker collector, there's toy collectors, there's all kinds of collectors. So if that's what you do, that's what you do. But in my opinion, if I'm getting those shoes, I'm rocking them with a different fit. I gotta have some fits around them. But that's just my opinion. But I don't need validation from other men. So if it's a sneaker I like and I got fits around it, I'm buying a sneaker. I don't care what the mass public feels. If it's hype, it's hype. If it's not, it's not. I move the way I move, and everybody should move the way they move. Let's move on. Polo has released a whole new Team USA Olympic gear collection. Go check it out. Let me know your thoughts. It's kind of fire. I do have an old piece of it, a couple pieces here and there. From the last Olympic collection that they did, I do believe I have a Great Britain coat, which is a nice little dope little down coat or whatever. Go check it out. Let me know your thoughts on it. Maybe you can comment on that. And since we're going to talk about fashion, I do have to say something about Pharrell. Might have a hook, line, and sinker. Pause. When it comes to the black jellyfish, the black on black Adidas, I think they come out next year. But I do really like the shoe. I don't like the Balenciaga YN / I'm too old to be wearing these type of shoes. But that particular Adidas has been catching my eye. But I am only going to do something next year I haven't done in a long time, and I'm probably going to only buy for one time in my life 2 sneakers in 1 year, and that's it. I ain't grabbing no more sneakers next year. I want to see if I can contain my habit of buying so many sneakers. We'll see. But I ain't hold my breath on that one. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna hold my breath on me not buying too many more sneakers. Deal subliminals. Your message has been received, it's been well taken, and that DMD is coming. Just one more. And that's just a little part I wanted to throw in there. I had a lot of other things that I wanted to say to that, but I'm just going to leave it alone because I think that it might go too far on something that I don't want it to be on. Uh, Another thing I wanted to talk about is the hip hop quotable that was by Big Pun. It was a song called "Beware" on the think it's that Big Punishment album, if I'm not mistaken. Very hardcore lyrics, very hardcore verse delivery in that one also. And let's get right down to it. This show has been fun to do. It's been very entertaining, probing things that I already knew or needed to brush up on. Episode 13, we're going to give you a little bit more of, I want to say album reviews. I want to catch up to now, kind of, sort of. So when I do get into more of the fashion reviews I'm about to do and talk about different avenues that way, but I do want to do songs, but I wanted to mention this also because this is a big deal also. That's what's going on. I don't understand how a lot of people are putting music on YouTube and getting away with it without getting flagged. I do plan on, for probably the next episode, and I've been thinking this for a little while now, that I want to go ahead and review a song. You know what I mean? I'm going to do bars, and I'm going to do a barred up song that I feel like that nobody ever even would attempt to, break down the verbals of. And I understand that that could bring a lot of flack or can cause a situation, but I mean I'm pretty prepared for that because there's a misconception of what people think bars are. Bars aren't always somebody spitting randomly, and trying to throw whatever message you want to portray or whatever. Everybody has a lane to stay in, and I just noticed that my lane is a little different from others because I'm only spewing out is all facts. It's nothing that can be debated or disputed. If you want to talk about albums, hey, hit me up in the comments. Let's talk about these albums. Let's talk about a lot of verbiage. But one thing I don't do is foolishness. But at the same time, I'm going to get off of here because this is episode 12. This is your boy, Joe360, and I'm